This is a Shields of Shame exclusive.
Introducing Dick Donovan, the former district attorney of the Paulding County Judicial Circuit in Georgia. Dick's dedication to justice was well known, but his personal and professional lives became intertwined when one of his own, Jamie White, an assistant district attorney, was caught shoplifting at the Cedartown Walmart. The irony was palpable. Jamie, entrusted to prosecute shoplifters, found herself on the wrong side of the law. As the news spread, it cast a shadow over the reputation of both Jamie and Dick, who was left grappling with the embarrassment of the situation. Handling the case was Cedartown City Prosecutor Stefanie Burford, tasked with bringing Jamie to justice. However, behind closed doors, a controversial deal was struck between Dick and Stefanie. In exchange for dropping charges in one of Stefanie's cases, Jamie's charges would be similarly dismissed. Dick began harassing Jamie and wanted something in return for getting her charges dropped. Jamie began recording Dick and eventually sued and won a settlement for $300,000 for sexual harassment. Dick was investigated by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation and charged with various crimes. Enjoy this exclusive content, and please consider becoming a member to support more content like this. This revelation sets the stage for a compelling series that delves into the depths of corruption within our judicial system. Through thorough examination of the facts and in-depth interviews, we will uncover the extent of misconduct among these government officials.
And you spell it with an F, right? Stefanie.
Right.
And it's Burford?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Do you ever get Buford?
Yes.
All the time? Because, at least you're not around Gwinnett County.
True.
That would be worse. Yeah. So, and like I said, what happened to this at this point is we got requested by the Attorney General's office to look into a case involving Donald Donovan. I think he goes by Dick.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Yeah. That's
okay.
The
Okay. And I did some research too. I saw that you worked at Paulding County a short period. Was he there at the time?
No. This was long before I got there.
Okay. So what happened was one of his employees got in trouble for shoplifting. Does any of this ring a bell?
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember the exacts, but
Okay.
I do remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she got in trouble for shoplifting, and I think it was, I just want to make sure I have the right date, October of 2017. Does that sound right?
That is probably right.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly.
And so she is in the process right now of having, it's like a hostile work environment over at Paulding County, and because of that, there has been some different accusations against the district attorney. And through that is how the AG's office learned about it and requested us.
Okay.
So, do you remember anything about that case?
The shoplifting?
Yeah.
I don't even remember where it was. I could guess Walmart because that's where everything happens here, but
Right.
I don't remember exactly.
Okay. And what's y'all's common procedures for shoplifting if a person doesn't have any criminal charges? Y'all plea them out? Y'all do pre-trial diversion? What do y'all normally do?
It's pre-trial diversion if they don't have a history is
Right.
not uncommon.
Right.
A class, conditional discharge, something like that is pretty commonplace for, like I said, for somebody that doesn't have a history, if they have a good job. A lot of times the attorneys will say they have a lot going on in their life and they've never done this, they're older.
Right.
So that would be unusual.
I know it's, 2 years ago now, but did Donovan come in and say that he was going to represent her? Do you remember anything about that?
I don't think he said he represented her, because I don't think he could do that.
Okay.
I think he just kind of, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but he was just acting kind of as a friend.
Okay.
And when we did it in court, I don't remember if he was even there.
Okay.
I don't know. And if we did pre-trial diversion, sometimes that's just signed up for the program and the judge signs off and then they go. it's either done through probation. I mean, once that happens, I have nothing to do with it, so
Okay.
I don't really know what happens beyond that point.
Okay. Do you normally recommend that they take shoplifting classes, online courses, or anything like that?
Oftentimes, yes, just depends on the situation. They generally, if they have more than one, the judge will say take a class. But if it's a pretrial, sometimes they'll do that. Take the class and pay a fine or something like that as part of the pretrial. And then as pretrial diversion, once it's done, it gets dismissed.
Okay.
It completes successfully.
All right. So, whenever that happens, like, can you remember anything about this specific incident? Whether or not Donovan asked you to help her out or anything like that?
I don't. No. I mean, he kind of talked to me like a typical representative would, like, just told me about her.
Yeah.
And that he said she was one of his most valued employees, and
Okay.
was kind of helping her out as a friend, kind of thing.
Right.
And
Yeah.
seems like she'd never been in trouble.
Yeah, I don't think she had a criminal history or anything like that. And I know it's a while ago. I'll show you this. It's the Cedartown incident report, the ticket information with a court date, and then the disposition. It's only signed by her, though. It's not signed by anyone else. I'm not sure if that's the accurate one or not.
I guess that looks like an accurate report.
Yeah.
I really don't remember.
Well, I was referring to the disposition. I mean, normally it's a judge signs off on it or somebody, and all it has is her signature. So that's what I got from the PD.
Yeah. Yeah, this case was dismissed. I mean, there should have been a pretrial or something like that.
Like a document for pretrial?
Yeah.
Like what do you?
And I don't know. Probation normally will fill it out. Like if they go, and sometimes we'll do like we'll actually go and be supervised. And other times we may say, all right, you go take a class, and you pay a fine, and we'll call it conditional discharge or something like that.
That's normally ordered by the judge, though.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I mean he'll just usually sign off on whatever we do.
Okay.
But the clerk at the end supplies him with like all the orders and things like that. And takes down whatever we say, takes it down and gives it to him. And
okay.
That's
So this happened. I can't remember the date. October 14th, and the court date was November 17th. So normally, what I've seen with pretrial diversion and stuff, it would normally be stated during that hearing, like their first court date hearing.
right.
But my understanding in this circumstance, it was, hey, do the online course, come in on that court date, and we'll dismiss the charge. Is that typical?
I mean, it could happen,
Okay.
but I mean, I remember saying do the pretrial diversion and then dismiss the case.
Okay.
And then those are my notes. Pay civil penalty to Walmart took shoplifting prevention class per agreement. She was social completion included in file. No criminal history.
Right.
So that was my understanding, is that it was going to be pretrial diversion.
Okay. So maybe I'm missing some paperwork then.
Yeah.
Okay. So who do you think would hold that paperwork I could get?
It should be in the file over there.
At Cedartown?
Yeah.
Okay, I can go back over there. That's all they gave me. Maybe is there document I should ask for?
Just any documentation on the pretrial.
Pretrial? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so during that time period, I think you had a case over in Paulding dealing with a DUI. Alex Harrell.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the discussion about that case with Mr. Donovan?
From what I recall, I don't really recall talking to him about it particularly. I asked him if his office could look at it, because I'd been through several prosecutors and it had been going on forever, and it was really a terrible case.
Okay.
And he said he would look at it, and then they dismissed the case. And as far as like what happened in his office, beyond me asking him to look at it, I don't know what the internal discussions were or how he came to that conclusion. Because I would have been okay with a reckless driving,
Right.
or something like that. But
Okay.
I know sometimes they talk to the police officers and they just say, do whatever. I don't really know.
All right. When did that discussion take place between you and Mr. Donovan?
I really don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure 2017 sometime. That's when. I mean, it was. I want to say near the same time, but I can't say exactly when.
Okay. Was it during the discussions of Miss White, Jamie White?
Not to my recollection.
So it wasn't during the same time y'all were talking about this case?
I don't think so. I really don't recall.
And I know y'all had to go through a motion hearing on that DUI case. I know the state was granted similar transactions.
Right.
Okay, and that was happening during that same time period. I think when were you notified about the judge's order?
Which one?
About the motion being granted for similar transactions?
I don't know. I mean, probably. I really don't remember.
Okay.
It would be around the same time.
Okay, so I think that happened early October. October 2nd or 3rd is when the date was on the motion. Does that sound about accurate?
It could be.
Okay.
It could be. I don't know.
Okay.
I know if it was, I think we had Judge Bucci, and sometimes it took him a really long time to do orders.
Yeah, I think the hearing was like in August or something. So is that typical? A couple months?
At least.
Okay. Yeah. I know it's different everywhere I go. All right. So it sounded like it was moving forward, though. I mean, there was a hearing and everything. That case.
I mean, I don't know. I was hoping that they would eventually somebody would look at it and decide not to prosecute. I thought they were kind of hoping we would plead out. Which,
Okay.
My client was adamant that he wasn't guilty.
Was he offered a plea?
There may have been one in the discovery.
Okay.
You should put like a recommendation in
Right.
there, like a normal course, but that was really the only discussion.
Okay. And do you recall what that plea was? The initial
No.
offer? Okay.
I think it would have been minimum. It was his first. It would have been his first conviction, I think.
I mean, he had a previous charge. Was
Right,
it was
but he
DUI, but I think it was pled down to reckless conduct.
Yeah, he wasn't ever convicted of anything, so it would technically be the first.
I thought he was charged with reckless. I thought they pled that first one out to reckless conduct. Maybe I'm wrong. I can look back.
From what I recall, it pled to reckless, which means that for purposes of sentencing or going forward, there would not be a prior conviction for DUI.
Okay. Right, because it was reckless, not DUI. That's right. Okay. All right. So you don't recall when that conversation took place about your case or this one? Okay. All right. Are you referred to the term, familiar with the term horse trading?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that what happened in this case?
No, it is not.
Okay.
I would have done the same thing for her, regardless of what happened with that case in Paulding.
Okay.
Both cases I've had in Paulding have been dismissed, just because that happens a lot in my cases. I don't take many, but when I do, I fight like crazy. And, and if I don't plead out, it's generally because there's a problem in the case and I'm trying to get it dismissed.
How did you find out that case got dismissed?
I got a copy of the order in the mail, is what I recall.
Was that prior to this November 17th time period?
I don't know. I don't recall.
Okay. All right.
I don't recall. It was. I would have to see like the date on. It would obviously be after the date on the order, or whatever it was.
All right.
Yeah, and I get what you get now. I'm not,
And I'm not saying that you did anything wrong. What I'm saying is what the appearance is on his end.
I understand that.
Because right now what is happening is there's a civil lawsuit being filed against his office and him by an employee for hostile work environment, sexual misconduct, that kind of stuff.
By this girl?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sexual misconduct, really?
By the DA, yes.
Okay, against this girl.
The girls filed it against him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And some of the conversations were that he did some things to help her out. And one of those things was not saying that you solicited him or anything like that about your case, but that he made that case go away so that she could have a clear record.
No.
Okay.
No, this is something that I've done in other cases, and I would not do this just based on getting something else. I wouldn't.
Okay.
I would have done the same thing.
That's why it's very important for you to recall when that conversation took place. Because if that conversation took place during the same time period that y'all were discussing this case, then there could have been a misunderstanding on his part.
Okay.
But if you're telling me that, how often do y'all talk?
I haven't talked to him in a year.
Okay.
Or two.
So the only reason you had conversations with him at that time period was because of this case. Is that accurate?
Yeah, he contacted me about this case.
Okay.
Because I was the solicitor here.
So could it have been during that same conversation? Or did you call him after the fact and say, hey, can you look at this? I've been dealing with this case for so long. You have to understand, you're an attorney.
Right.
It's very important about details.
Yeah.
And that is why it's very important for me to find out when that conversation happened.
It would have been after we reached the agreement on her.
Okay.
It would not have been in the middle of it.
So, time period.
And this is strictly speculation.
Okay.
But it would have to be. This. So she came back in November, and you're saying it was October-ish.
What's that?
You said
She got arrested October 2017, October 14th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so he and I would have had to have talked probably in October.
Okay.
If that's when she made her first appearance, and
When would first appearance be? Because I didn't see any paperwork on that either.
it would be back on the calendar probably.
So I need to look at the calendar.
Yeah, the court calendar would probably be on there, or the clerk could tell you when there's arraignments and there's trials. You only have arraignments on one day, and then you have trials on the next.
Okay.
So, to the best of my recollection, he and I talked about this. We made this agreement based on the circumstances and this girl, and the case and her lack of history and all that sort of thing. And then after I had agreed to that, I asked him to look at my case.
Okay.
And just check it out. And I think I asked him to talk to the ADA, just because, like I said, it had gone through 2 or 3 ADAs, and I just couldn't get anywhere with anybody.
Okay.
I was hoping somebody would look at it and talk to the
Right.
police officer and realize that it was a really terrible case.
Okay.
It really was a terrible case.
So after y'all came up with the agreement on that same conversation is when you asked him, hey, do you mind looking at this case?
I don't know if it was the same day or if it was after the fact, but it was definitely after it. It was not a quid pro quo, I'll do this if you do that, horse trading kind of.
And I'm not asking that question. I'm just trying to get to the circumstances of when that conversation happened. So
it was around this time period, but it was after we made this deal.
And you're probably familiar with bribery. I'm not looking at bribery. Bribery is all about value and stuff like that.
Right.
That's not what I'm really looking at. It's not like he offered you money or anything like that to make this case go away. I'll tell you that the problem is that I think he was trying to have a relationship with this girl and was doing everything he could to help her out. And so, yes, some of the things that I have learned are quite creepy. And, no one should be treated like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was a control thing that he was trying to create some control over her by doing things like this. She wasn't aware that he was doing these things on her behalf.
Okay.
So that's why when I was trying to figure out, was he representing her or if he was just calling, and you said it was more of a friend is the approach that he took.
Yeah, I didn't look at him as an attorney because I know he's a district attorney.
Right.
He can't be.
Right.
But, he did, talk to me on her behalf.
Okay.
And, tell her, and kind of as her agent, sort of.
Right.
I guess is a better word.
And so what did
attorney.
he say? Like, hey, how can she fix this kind of thing?
No, it was more like, what can you do with this case? What do you recommend? What are we looking at?
Mm-hmm.
And attorneys all the time say, if you cut my client a break, that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I don't remember if he said that, let me be clear. And he never said, let's make this go away. I'll do something for you. It was nothing like that. That
Okay.
is, I'm very strict about that. It was nothing like that.
Okay.
And I realized that the timing could look bad, and it, like you said, when you look at it like that, like you're talking about,
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't. It could look bad to somebody that doesn't know the circumstances. I understand because of the timing.
Yeah.
But there was never a quid pro quo type situation.
So after you had the conversation with that, you don't know if it was that same conversation that you talked about your case. It could have been the following day, is what you're saying.
It could have been. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember.
How would you get a hold of him? Did you have a cell phone number?
I think I have his cell phone number.
Okay.
Yeah, because we did talk about. I joined the Cop Bar Association,
Mm-hmm.
and I needed somebody, and he's a member, an active member. I needed somebody to sign my petition, 2 attorneys, so I asked him and somebody else. But I mean, generally for somebody, I would just call like their office,
Okay.
and I assume that's probably what I did.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've had 3 new cell phones since then. I don't.
Yeah. How did he contact you? Was it in person or was it by phone?
I remember, I think he came, I want to say he came by here
Okay.
to discuss her.
Okay.
And I don't remember if that was before the court appearance. Like I said, I don't remember if he even came.
Okay.
I mean, he didn't stand up with her or anything like that. He couldn't do
Right.
that. But I don't remember if he came. And sat
So would that be the
down.
first appearance? That November 17th date? I mean, if you look at the ticket, I can't remember which one it is, but it has on there court date, arrest date, all that. Do you see it?
Is there a ticket in here?
It's not ticket per se. It says ticket something at the top, and it has all the dates listed on it.
Oh, ticket information.
Yeah. So I don't see anything on there about first appearance hearing or anything like that.
Ticket date 10/14. Original court date 11/17.
So would the 11/17 be her first appearance?
It is possible.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually they're within a month,
Okay.
so probably so.
So then all the discussions about what's going to happen to the case happened prior to that date, because my understanding is that on that date, first appearance or hearing or whatever it was, is when it was dismissed.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it. Let me see. Disposition. And it sounds like disposition dismissed case. That doesn't mean that day.
Okay.
That just means that's if they complete the pretrial diversion. And
Okay.
I don't remember the timing of that because my notes are very specific.
Yeah.
Pretrial diversion program
Mhm.
and all that sort of thing.
So they should have that over there at Cedartown.
Yeah, they should.
Okay. So I should just ask for the whole file. A copy of the whole file.
Unless they just did it informally or something like that. But I mean,
They shouldn't do that informally, right?
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think so.
Because it's on a criminal history. So expungement. Did you provide with any expungement paperwork, or is that done by somebody else?
The forms come from our clerk, and she gave it to me, and I believe I passed it on to them.
Okay.
But I don't fill anything out. I just gave them the forms.
Did he ask for the expungement paperwork? Do you recall how that worked?
I don't recall if he asked.
Is that typical for you to bring it in on a first offender type situation like this?
We talked about it. Yeah. If somebody asked me for it, yeah, I'll give it to them.
So who asked you for it?
I don't remember. It could have been him.
Okay.
And I say it could have been.
Well, did you have any discussions with her?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. She came into court, and I remember her being in there, but I don't remember talking to her.
So from arrest date to court date, the only person you talked with about this case was Donovan?
To the best of my knowledge, yeah.
Okay. So if someone asked for the expungement, it would have been him?
Probably so, yeah.
Okay.
Or it's possible. I know there were, a lot of times with somebody like her, there are concerns about her criminal history.
Right.
They're eligible for expungement as long as it's dismissed eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Then, just being nice, but here's
Right.
the paperwork from the clerk or whatever.
Did you send him an email about the shoplifting class? You remember that?
Possibly.
Okay.
I have to go back and look at my email.
Okay.
I mean, you're asking me that, you probably already know the answer. You're like my mom. You're asking me a question, you already know the answer.
You're an attorney?
Yeah, so, I mean.
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just basing it off of what other people have told me.
Okay.
I have not seen an email. So that's why I wanted to try to confirm that.
Okay.
An email about the shoplifting.
Yeah, it could have been fax, could have been
Okay.
email, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Or I could have given him a website to go to.
Okay. All right.
I don't remember.
All right. And did he ever discuss with you in person, by phone, or anything like that about dismissing the case? Did you ever talk to him about it?
Not that I recall. All I recall asking him to do is take a look at it.
Okay.
And I told him the case was a stinker.
Okay.
And just have to take a look. But I don't recall asking for anything in particular. Like I said, I think that
Well, I'm saying after that, did he ever call you back, say, hey, I looked at that case, it's been handled? Did he ever come in person, by phone, or anything like that?
Not that I remember.
Okay. So the only way that you remember getting that notice is by being served with the, I guess, null pros order or whatever?
Yeah.
Motion null pros?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I really don't remember. I mean, I really don't.
Okay. And did you ever contact him after receiving that?
Not
Hey, thanks for looking at it. Appreciate it. Nothing like that.
Not that I recall. All right, so after answering these questions, the recorder is on. I mean, what are y'all looking to do here? I mean, honestly.
I mean, it comes down to the facts, right? If the facts are, you know, he did this for you so that could happen, so that he could build up a relationship with this woman, then he may have violated his oath of office.
And I cannot say anything about his state of mind or what he was trying to accomplish, but
Right.
like I said, there was no quid pro quo here. I mean,
Okay.
I would have given her the same pretrial diversion deal whether I had a case there or not.
Do you normally typically do everything on the record during the court calendar?
Not with all of them.
Okay.
With some we do.
Okay.
But if there's a, if we do pretrial diversion or something like that, sometimes the judge will just say, we worked out the terms, and they'll say, okay.
Okay. You normally have people come in before the calendar call.
There's only court twice a month.
I meant like on the day of.
Come in here?
No, like on the calendar call the day of. You ever have people come in prior to the calendar call and have their case taken care of before you start court, I guess?
Oh, no. And, when it comes to arraignments, which
Mm-hmm.
I guess that was an arraignment, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's very informal. The judge doesn't call the calendar. There's
Okay.
too many people on it.
Right.
So basically, we just come in about 8:30, and
Mm-hmm.
as soon as people come in, we'll call them up by
Okay.
list,
Right.
and just talk to them about their case.
Okay.
And we may work something out. A lot of times we work things out at the table,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll
Okay.
just, depending on what it is, we'll just tell the judge what we're doing or something
Right.
like that.
Do you recall this one taking place prior to anyone showing up in the courtroom?
No. I mean, they don't let anybody in the courtroom until like 8:45.
Okay.
But no, not that I recall. Why? Did somebody say something? I mean, I don't remember that. That's not really how it happens. No.
I'm just asking you your best recollection. So it wasn't, hey, come in before calendar and we'll get this taken care of and y'all can get out of here. None of that.
Not that I remember.
Okay.
Not that I remember. I mean, if somebody comes in, like I said, we don't call the calendar. It's
Right.
just kind of whenever you show up, we talk to you.
Okay.
And as soon as those doors open, anybody comes.
The first come, first serve kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes we do it like that. Sometimes they'll check people in. It just
Yeah.
depends on.
Is that normally an officer that does that?
Checks people in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a clerk?
Yeah.
Officer?
Yeah, there's an officer named Therese.
Okay.
She'll check them in just depending on how big the calendar is.
Okay.
And I don't know if we did it that far back, but
Right.
That's how we do it now.
Okay. I may have more questions later on, but I mean that's pretty much the basis of it. I will ask this though. Two things. One, the worst thing that could happen, and you know this as an attorney, is for you not to be honest. And I feel like you're telling me everything that you remember, but God forbid I come out, I leave here, and then I interview somebody else, and I find out something different. That wouldn't be good, right?
Right.
So please just, if it happened, it happened. If it didn't, it didn't. I don't really care. I'm just trying to find the facts, but don't let me leave here today thinking one thing and then find out something different. Okay? Because I got to interview everybody, right?
Right.
So I don't know what Mr. Donovan's going to say. The other thing is, I ask that you don't talk to anybody about this interview, because again, I don't want there to be someone's memory altered by speaking with someone I've already interviewed. Does that make sense?
Right.
Okay. When's the last time you talked to Mr. Donovan?
It was probably about like the Cobb Bar chili cook-off thing, which was more than a year ago.
Okay.
Probably.
What about anybody at his office? No?
I
Okay.
don't have any pending cases over there right now.
Okay.
So.
All right.
And I just don't look at anything wrong. I mean, it's super important to me. I pride myself on
Right.
being on the up and up.
Yeah, I get it.
So I would get pulled into his
Right.
stuff.
Let's look at this right here, okay? Arrested on the 14th. She is supposed to come back in on November 17th, right?
Right.
There was the state just was awarded a motion granting them prior acts in a case. The case is moving forward. I saw a lot of continuances in there by both parties, you and the state.
Right.
It was only, a year and a half, 2 years old. So, I mean, it wasn't too terribly old. I mean, I've had cases 4, 6 years sometimes.
Yeah.
It takes forever. So it kind of strikes me as odd when you're telling me that you just want somebody to look at the case when that case is already moving forward. So you just went through a motion, and the state was just granted the motion, and now you're asking the DA to review the case when it's moving forward. There is a progression. It's not like it's being stalled or anything like that. So that's why I'm confused about that.
Yeah, and I don't remember the motion being that close to this,
Okay.
because I knew we went in 2 or 3, I guess, based on what you're telling me, 2 or 3 months before.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And you may not have gotten it, but the paperwork shows that you were served on October 2nd or 3rd, that the state was granted the motion.
Yeah, and he may have granted it right then.
Yeah.
I may have known that. I don't know.
I remember seeing the paperwork. I don't know if he was granted it right then, because I thought I read the transcript and it was something to the effect of I don't even want to say, because I'll probably forget exactly what was said, but it was basically he'll review the information and get back to y'all.
I didn't remember. I
So-
didn't remember. And I worked in the DA's office, and sometimes the DA or the head ADA would look at a case and be like, "This is just not a very good case.
Right.
Why don't you do this or why don't you do
Right.
that?" And I do not remember asking him to dismiss that case,
Okay.
because I said, "Look at it."
But why did you ask him to look at it?
Because it stunk, and I was hoping that he would have a fresh set of eyes,
Okay.
and only because he and I had established communication, and that's the only reason I asked.
Okay.
Because I know he's in charge, and
Yeah.
I'd hope that he would see the case, that it wasn't a good case,
Okay.
and then I would get a better offer or something like that. As a defense attorney, I just want to, want my
Right.
clients to get the best outcome.
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
if they don't, they don't.
It's just odd that it happened in the same time period as this, Because, and I'll tell you, the timeline is, so, that happened on October 2nd or 3rd. The 14th, she's arrested. November 17th, she's supposed to have her court. October 31st is when the null pros happened on your case.
Okay.
It's just odd.
So my case was dismissed before this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I really don't remember the order.
Okay.
But I asked him to look at it, and he and I made this agreement before that, I believe.
You made the agreement,
yeah.
and then
I asked him to look at.
But that agreement happened in person here.
I believe so. I think he came by to see me.
And did he say he was on her behalf? That's where I'm confused. He's here on behalf of Jamie. Is that what he told you?
I
or?
don't remember if he used the words on behalf, but I'm here. I know he was here for her.
Right.
Yeah.
And what did he say? Can you recall any of that? Like,
he was just telling me more about her personally, and kind of trying to plead to the personal side, which is what people always do, you know. So, and that she didn't have a criminal history, and you know, asked if we could consider it. I don't remember him saying the words pretrial, but you know, that's what I ended up doing. So.
Okay.
And like I said, I've done that on other cases just like this.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I wish I could remember exactly what we said, but it was nothing. I'll do this for you if you do this for me. That was not said.
Right. And then follow the day, week. What do you think it was that you reinitiated contact with him about your case?
About my criminal case?
In Paulding, yeah.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember if we talked about it again. I just asked him to look at it, and
but
I don't remember if there's any more talk of it.
When did you ask him to look at it? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Was it during that conversation he was here, or was it the following day? Was it the following week? Was it when?
I really don't remember.
Okay.
I really don't. I mean, I could speculate, but you know, it's never good because I don't know if it's
right. And again, I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble. Honestly, I'm not trying to lock people up. That's not what I'm here for. All I want to make sure is that if something did happen, it's investigated and it's taken care of. If something did not happen, then it's fully investigated. The facts are out there, and it's put to rest. That is all I care about. I don't really care about anything else. Okay? So I just had some confusion about the way these events took place. And you can see, you know, based with what I've told you and how it appears, right? I mean, it's not me just trying to make some stuff up, right?
right.
So, I mean, if you can think of something, now's the time to tell me.
I mean,
that's about it.
Everything I remember, and you know, I understand what you're saying. And at the time, it didn't. It didn't occur to me that it would look bad. I understand what you're saying about the dates,
right?
And how everything has happened and what is going on with her and him and all that weirdness.
Okay.
But it didn't occur to me because they were two separate things.
Right.
You know,
okay.
Like we'll do this on her based on her circumstances, and then when you take a look at my case, it's a stinker. I think it needs to be, you know, it doesn't need to be prosecuted.
Okay. All right.
And like I said, I would have been happy with a reckless.
Right.
You know, honestly.
Yeah.
Like my client would have taken that.
Yeah. I thought they normally offer up stuff like that in the front end. And that's weird for me also because the DA's office is handling misdemeanor. I don't really see that in Metro Atlanta.
Yeah, Metro, they're usually solicitors office or whatever.
Right. Can you think of anything else?
No.
Okay.